So this video is going to have a different format than the one I made. My brother here has a bachelor's in film production, and I essentially just ask him a bunch of questions regarding film production and how to get into film production and things like that, and see what his answers are. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty, to start off here, I'm going to ask the question, what is film production?
A film production is pretty much any process involving the production of a movie. That could be a production of a TV show, the production of a high budget movie from Hollywood, or a low budget indie film, a short film. It pretty much just encompasses all of filmmaking. That's kind of film production.
My next question is going to be, what do you define as a movie?
A movie is pretty much just a story being told to you through pictures and sound, and usually is a form of entertainment for us now.
So you told us what film production is, but how would you practice film production? And would you need like big industry equipment, or can you just do it with like your phone or something?
So when it comes to equipment, when it comes to asking yourself, do I have the equipment necessary to make a movie, or do I have to go out and spend thousands of dollars and rent out equipment? The answer surprisingly would be no, you don't need all that equipment. Having equipment is nice, it makes things easier, you can do a lot more complex setups. But honestly, take it to the definition of a movie. It's just telling a story using visuals and sound. And your phone can record sound and video very, very well. If you had a phone that's even 5 years old, you can probably do this. All you got to do really is just practice the basic techniques. If you practice basic techniques, you're immediately going to be at a higher level than a lot of stuff that you see online, more amateur stuff that you see online. And that goes back to learning some of the techniques, methodology, learn why things are done a certain way, and to know that some of the stuff is not that complicated.
I know I already asked a very similar question in the last one, but should I use my phone or get expensive equipment to create content?
Yeah, sure, expensive equipment is nice, but believe it or not, you can do a lot to tell a story by just understanding basic fundamentals and practicing the craft of filmmaking versus having all sorts of equipment. An example being practice shot composition, practice lighting, practice framing. If you understand those concepts and you're pretty competent in it, you go out, you make a project yourself, and you're telling a story and utilizing those basic principles can be very effective and kind of make your project seem like it has more quality than if you're just taking your phone and you're just pointing it at something.
I noticed in the last answer you said something about shot composition and framing. I was wondering what those are.
So, shot composition is pretty much how you're manipulating all the visual elements within the camera frame. And you use shot composition to help kind of deliver your message, how to tell your story. And framing is a part of shot composition. You can have a shot of, say, astronauts out in space and they're doing some work on out in the ISS. So you have the elements of the planet, Earth, the sun, the moon to use. You have the subjects that are the astronauts, or maybe it's the ISS ship in general. How are you going to use those in order to tell the story that you're telling? And an aspect that you can use, framing comes into play, because how are you going to position all those characters into place? And also, what shot are you going to use? So framing can be, I'm going to go for a wide shot, or I'm going to go for an ultra wide shot, and really try to emphasize the scale of what they're doing, where they are, and that's going to help me deliver a certain point or deliver a certain message. Or perhaps I can go really, really tight in with a close up, and those are all different framing choices that help influence your shot composition.